Alright, we're gonna try this again. Alright? I got full bars. I'm on Wi-Fi right now. I don't get why this is happening. Alright, but grouping, right? Talk about grouping. We're talking about how to understand grouping, how to understand power, how to understand your orb of energy and not get caught up in someone else's orb. Now, grouping. The problem with grouping, the things we gotta understand is that when I become part of a group, I become part of an organization, I become part of anything that is a one notion word, anything that embodies who I am. I now have to fall under and align with the things that are subscribed to by a whole group and notion of people. Okay, so with that being said, like I talked today about the veganism thing. As vegans, right, you got people who are vegans who don't really even eat that healthy, but now find it that they have a spot at the cool table because they're vegan, and they can now bash other beings who are on a lower frequency than they are right now. Even though they might not be on the highest frequency, they now think that they have the right to now shoot down and shoot at lower frequency beings who are still eating meat. That's the problem we gotta talk about here. Why do we gotta talk about this? Why do we have to put this on blast here? Because there are a lot of people out here that are getting caught up in these energy orbs, right? These energy orbs, when I speak of an energy orb, I just mean that's something that you do not fully subscribe to all the beliefs, but that you tumble up on into, right? And become part of these big notions and things. Now, if we look at karma right now, you take a look at karma. Take a look at how karma is breaking down on countries, how karma is breaking down on organizations. Karma is breaking down on big surface things right now. Karma is not attacking your little guy at his shop and karma's coming for big orbs, right? Countries are falling, right? We look at all these people getting hurt by all this stuff. There's big karmic orbs coming at people. We gotta start to realize what we're looking at here. We gotta start to understand why grouping is a big problem. You gotta be. I said earlier, I be, right? I be. I don't subscribe to nothing but being. At a certain sense, you gotta remember that along this path, along any path you're walking on, you're gonna be learning a lot. You're gonna be moving. You're gonna be going places. Your mind's gonna be going places. There's so many things that are involved with growth, ascension, all these different topics. However, you have to learn how to be within your knowledge. It's about being. It's not just subscription, right? If I went out and got subscription to Sports Illustrated, I just gotta deal with that shit all the time. I'm part of that group. However, once I've gotten enough knowledge of the sport, I don't need all that anymore. You don't need it, right? You don't need it. When you've been watching football for 50 years, do you need to still be all up in football, or do you kind of got a notion for what's going on? Can you understand who's good and who's not? So that's where you have to be at with your knowledge. You have to start to be in your knowledge, not just have knowledge, and not start to subscribe to all these things that are giving you knowledge. You have to be in it. Now, what does that mean? That means finding your own place in the knowledge. That means that you have to be light on yourself, right? So I talked earlier about dieting, right? I talked earlier about eating because we were talking about the vegan thing, right? And now, this is a big key that I need people to understand. When you are healthy and you have knowledge of health, you don't need to do anything else but be in your knowledge, and you're going to be healthy, right? Once you have knowledge of health and you have knowledge of self, you don't need anyone else to tell you how to be healthy. You just have to be in your knowledge, right? Because inside of my knowledge, and we know anyone who has wisdom, right? Knowledge plus application equals wisdom. So once I've gotten my wisdom, I don't need to subscribe to anything anymore. I don't need to do anything in a certain way. I just gotta try it and see what it's about. I gotta take the information, I gotta apply it, and I gotta see what comes from it. And once I see what comes from it, then I know if I need to subscribe with that or not, or I can move back and forth. So when it comes to the new next level of things that I'm seeing people now, they're getting on this next level wave of food and spirituality and all this, trying to one up. It's like level up sessions. All day I see food, shit, things. I'm doing this, I'm doing. No, but we gotta start being. We gotta slow down and be. How many breathing exercises did you do today? How much did you meditate today? How many times did you take information and then cut off information? When did you cut off your information for the day? And that's what I want people to start thinking about, is when did you cut your information off for the day? Because I go online all the time. Every time I go on Facebook, I see information all day long, right? I read in the morning, so I get information that way. I'll watch a couple videos a day, I get information. But then at some point, I just stop it. I cut that shit. No more information. No, nothing else coming to me, right? It's just no more. Why? Because at a certain extent, you gotta digest. My man Prince says, you gotta digest your spiritual food. Prince says this the best. You gotta digest in order to be, right? In order for food to start to materialize on me and me to gain the nutrition, I gotta let that food digest, baby, right? And that's what we see is going on right now. There's a lot of people throwing food at us. There's a lot of people throwing information at us. But then they're also trying to tell us how to apply the information right away. They're trying to tell us how to do it and use the information instead of letting us be in the information. You must learn how to be in your information in order to make it your information and in order to do the positive thing you can with the information. There's no one who can make you be in your own information. Because once you're being someone else in your information, who are you? Is that your knowledge and information? If you can't be in it, if you gotta be someone else within your information and knowledge, boom, understand the orb you're working with. Understand the orbs. You gotta understand energy, right? We understand energy and frequency, but we gotta understand the orbs, the energy we're creating and what we're subscribing to, right? So if I'm here and I'm doing certain things and I'm saying certain, we already know that spelling, right? If I'm speaking spells to you all day and I'm speaking in a certain manner, I'm using energy orbs with you, right? So like when Drake starts saying lit, right? Lit, lit, lit. Everyone starts saying lit, 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 right? Think about that for a second. Everyone would jump on the frequency. Everyone started to fill up that orb of energy. Now, what do you use lit for? Use lit when you're hype, right? Use lit when you're hype. Drake got you, everyone saying lit. He's got the orb now, right? So he holds that, you know. So we gotta peep. You gotta peep orbs now. And that's why grouping is so key. Understanding the groups you're with. So you gotta understand the energy orbs they're bringing. You gotta understand everything that is going on. That's why when you group with big populations, you gotta be careful. Because within that big population, you can't always say that you subscribe towards everything that someone is saying. If you can't subscribe with everything that someone is saying, you're part of an orb that you need to back away from. You need to start to learn how to be in your knowledge and not just follow in the knowledge and not just get caught up in the energy orb. Orbs are like energy is like a galaxy, right? When you think about this, when we do this, when people do this, that's a galaxy, right? We're talking about galaxies here, right? So we're looking at a galaxy. Galaxies spin and they pull things towards the middle. Right, so we need to take a step back and think about that for a second. So if I'm doing this, I'm telling you my galaxy, I'm pulling you in here and here. So we got to understand what we're talking about with energy orbs. If you don't subscribe to all the energy you're getting, you need to back out and find a smaller group that you can create the proper galaxy with. You need to use an energy orb to find your real orb, right? And then so you guys can be in it. Now I know when I keep using this orb, there's gonna be a lot of people that get scared and turned away by it, but that's okay. That's why I'm talking about it this way. Only certain people are gonna really know what I'm coming at with this. So you gotta be able to peep game, because the people who have the ear will hear, right? So if I can't subscribe to everything I'm hearing, and I know that I'm a galaxy, right? I'm a galaxy. I gravitate things towards me. I gravitate knowledge towards me. I gravitate anything. I pull in the law of magnetism. I gotta understand that, right? So if I'm pulling things towards me, I gotta make sure that it is me. So if there's things that you start pulling towards you that you don't fully always agree with, you gotta step away from that a bit and learn how to be and align within your sense of the knowledge. facts or fiction. You have to learn the truths. Once you learn the truths, you can align easy. You can figure out what's real, right? It's very easy, but we gotta be mindful. All of us have to be mindful, especially in the movement and frequency that we're at right now. Everyone's at a very vulnerable spot in their frequency paths and their journeys, right? Because you gotta remember, frequency means I'm going up and down, but it's where I'm frequenting, right? So if I'm here, I'm always going up and down, vibration, know the laws. So I'm always coming up and down within this, right? However, I gotta understand that I gotta find a place where I can be at so I can stay closer to the line, right? If you look at the phi ratio starts big and then it starts to even out. That's where you have to start to embody. All of us and a lot of us are new to these frequency thoughts, right? So we're popping up and down constantly. But you have to learn how to level. And the only way to learn how to level is if I detach and feel my own orb. I gotta feel my own energy within this orb, within this consciousness, within this frequency pattern, right? Because you don't want to get caught up in bad frequencies, because there are some bad frequencies always snipped in there. Because you gotta remember, everyone you're peeping is coming through ups and downs too. Because you're watching a being that's having frequency patterns, right? So if you're watching someone who's frequenting as well, that's vibrating as well, don't you think that sometimes they're coming to the low end of their frequency also? That you're always gonna catch them up here? No, you're not always catching people up here. You're not always catching these informations up here. You gotta remember that these people are coming and dipping through here too. So you gotta be able to peep. That's why the eyes, your eyes are real. See that all of this isn't real. See that all of this is constantly moving. So you gotta be able to peep, okay, okay, all that, some of this doesn't make sense. I gotta peep here. This is my group, right? That's why we use reflection, but be mindful of what your reflection is. All of your reflections, be mindful of who they are. Be mindful of who they are. It's facts, right? Because I go up and down my pages, a lot of people that are on this wave and that, like, they're a reflection of a part of my frequency. I can't say it's all there because some of the things I'm getting from them, I gotta mind off, I gotta skip off. So I gotta be like, boom, I gotta get them here. I am the keeper of my universe, so I gotta, boom, be strong. Right? You're your own spiritual warrior, yo. If you don't fuck with something, if you know something's not true, don't fuck with it. Don't fuck with anything more on that topic, right? Don't fuck with anything more on that topic. Be mindful. Because grouping is crazy. I just see so much of it going on. That vegan shit almost got me today. I was sitting there like, yo, we got vegans out here starting debates pages to debate meat eaters. Why are we doing this? Why are we purposely going out of our way for altercations? Isn't this about peace and unity? Why are we fighting this stuff? What are we doing here? What are we subscribing to? What are we putting our energy to? What are you grouping with? And that's why I talk about this. I talk about grouping purposely, because we gotta start being mindful of what we're grouping with. Like me, I gotta be mindful that there's certain things and certain beings that I can't fully be in groups with. I be. So there's certain spiritual truths, there's certain truths in general, there's certain real things, real facts that you learn from everyone, because everyone's your teacher. There's certain things you're learning from every single person. However, with that being said, I gotta know how to be within my shit. I gotta know what aligns with the knowledge that I bring to the table. There's certain knowledges out here that shouldn't be brought to the table, because they're not leading anyone properly. You gotta lead. It's gotta be leading. I gotta go on the ships, right? We talk about these things all the time, but we gotta be able to see now that grouping isn't always the best thing. Grouping needs to be really then refined. We got big groups, right? You got the big overall encompassing group, but then you gotta detract and pull another group from inside of there and see who your real alignment is. Right? Stop. We can't want to be a part of the big group. The big group is the trouble, right? Karma comes from the big groups, not the little groups. Get your tribe right. Your tribe is the key. the key, right? Your circle, right? All this stuff they're talking about, circles. Think about why Jim Carrey walked the circle, and then you'll see your circle is very key. Your orb, right? Your orb, your circle. Think about these things. It's a key, major key, right? You got to be mindful of these things, because people are trying to give you their orbs. They're trying to give you their timelines. You create your timeline. Are you God or are you not? If you're God, you create your timeline, correct? No being creates a timeline on you. That goes in any sense of the word. That goes when people try and ask you to do things that you might not want to do. That comes from anything. You create your timeline. You're God. The timeline is yours. That's one of the things you have control over. That's fourth dimensional thought. I control 4D because I control my timeline. That's why some people are stuck in 3D, because they can't control their timeline. That's 4D, right? That's why we teach when you leave your job, right? I get out of my job, I get to this, now I'm jumping to a fourth dimensional being. Why am I jumping to a fourth dimensional being? Because nothing controls my timeline but me. If you're working and you get a set schedule, you're now becoming a lesser being. You're becoming a third dimensional being, right? Because you only can experience now. You don't have control of time. Time is fourth dimensional, right? Controlling of time is now I'm 4D. Now I'm sitting here, fourth dimensional being. Peep this. We gotta peep these little keys that are out here. Like sixth dimension. What's the sixth dimensional being? Why do we talk about six? Six is the judge. If you're judging, if you're able to judge your environment, you're a sixth dimensional being. That's why they're afraid of 666. Why are they afraid of 666? Because you're a judging being, then you become in a group of judges, and you're able to judge all together. 666. It's scary. But this is the things that you gotta do. You gotta remember what dimension you're working in. If I'm a third dimensional being, that means I'm just experiencing things. That means that I'm blind to a lot of things. Things are just coming into my reality and I can't control it. That's a third dimensional being. Fourth dimension, you start to have control over time. You have control and understanding of your surroundings. Right? You become you hover over soul. I hover over where I'm at. Right? I'm able to peep what's going on. Right? So most of us are in that fourth dimension right now. Right? You're starting to get control of your time frame. You're starting to get a vision of what's going on, where you're at. You're a fourth dimensional being when you control your time. And then you move up from there, right? Then you move up. We should be trying to move up and out of these things. But be mindful of your group. Your group is what's going to help you or hinder you in this. What are you grouping yourself under? Are you grouping yourself under things that give people a crazy perspective on you and put things on you that aren't you? Right? If I call myself a Republican, that means that I have to subscribe to all the things that Republicans do. Do I want to be a Republican? No. Do you maybe have some things out there? Yes. But does that mean you want, are you a Republican? No. So don't ever fall for that. Are you a vegan? I don't know. Right? What is a vegan? Stop calling yourself vegans. Stop calling yourself fruitarians. Be aware. Once you're aware of how you eat, just do it. If someone really needs you to freaking tell them, just tell them your diet. Most of the time they won't understand, but just tell them it. Be like, yo, I eat this and this and this. That's why I eat simple shit, so it's easier for me. They'll be like, what do you eat? Oh, I eat fruits and nuts. Sometimes I eat a little bit of a cooked meal, but you gotta keep it light. Because what happens, right? I saw it today, this whole vegan bot, like, don't be a part of that shit. I saw vegan and fucking they call them carnists now. So we got now people who don't eat animal products are vegans. People who do are carnists, right? We're starting the duality again. Now we're just gonna have beef. Like what? This isn't gang shit. Stop making the Bloods and Crips everywhere, right? We got Bloods and Crips, Republicans, Democrats, vegans, carnists. Stop doing it. Know what you're subscribing to. Know what you're being grouped in. Don't fall for grouping, just be. Right? I'm not into fashion. I'm not into nothing. I be. If I happen to look good sometimes, I look good. If not, fuck it. But every time I say I'm into something, I gotta then go over and above to be a part of it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the tricks. Don't fall for these tricks, man. They're tricks. They're trying to, things are gonna lock you into groups. You don't wanna get locked into a karmic group. Be you. right? What's good for you? What makes you feel good at the end of the day? What makes you feel happy? What makes you feel understood? What can you understand? What can you know without having to go to someone else who makes you feel inferior to your own knowledge? Because you have knowledge. It's not about feeling inferior to your knowledge. If you go to anybody and they're making you feel inferior to the things that you know about yourself or what you know to be true, then stop going to that thing. Stop going to that thing. If it doesn't empower you, don't go to it. You're not supposed to be feeling inferior in your own universe. Who are you then? Are you God? If you feel inferior in your universe? Are you the creator? Are you in the 4D? Are you controlling your destiny? No. So get your knowledge, get that knowledge, and then be. And then once you start moving and being, everything makes sense. Everything just goes. Be mindful. Be mindful of people always interjecting into your timeline. When people are always interjecting into your timeline, they're trying to put things on you. No, control your timeline. Control your timeline. If you don't fuck with shit coming into your space after 6 o'clock and something starts showing up around 6 o'clock, don't fuck with it. Know it. Know what's going on. You control your timeline. You control it. Fourth dimensional being. You want to be 4D, right? Time is 4D, so I have to control my time. 4D. 4D, right? This is the beginning for some of you guys. 4D. Control that shit. I love you all. That's why I do this, because I see people stressing. I see people worrying about things that they don't need to worry about. Don't get caught up in grouping. Don't get sucked into these different galaxies and orbs, all this gravity into these things. Don't get caught in the hype. Don't get caught in the hype. Remember that this is a galaxy. At first, this was a galaxy. Thank you, Tori Smith. You're lit. Right? Don't get caught in this. This is a galaxy. You are a galaxy. Whenever you throw this up, remember that. If I throw this here and here, that's because I'm gravitating from my heart and I'm gravitating from my mind. So I'm either pulling you in with my intellectual understanding or my love. Nothing else. Right? All that other shit, don't get grouped into it. Just be. I be. Hashtag. I be that. Because we be out here. But while I'm here, I just saw this shit today. It just had me it got me triggered. Because I don't want to get caught up in this. I have a lot of people who try and talk to me about being vegan and all this. I start seeing vegans and all this stuff doing all this crazy stuff. This isn't a contest, right? This isn't a contest. If you feel like you need to fast because you're in some kind of contest, don't fast. Don't fast. You fast if you feel like you need it. Don't you fast because you feel pressure. Don't you be a fruitarian because you feel pressure. If you want to eat a lot of fruit and make sure then you want to mix in some plant-based and cook food once in a while, you can do that. Do that because you're a being. If you feel like you want to be a breatharian, be it. You be, I be, right? Once I understand how to be, I'm a be it. But don't do anything because you feel pressure. Pressure is not real. Pressure is a self-created thing. There's no such thing as pressure. Only pressure you feel is if someone came up to press you, right? Pressure that you put on yourself, that's nothing. People be like, yo, you fast and you do all this. Do you ever fast, like, you fast during Ramadan and do this? I fasted through one Ramadan just because I want to see what it was about. After that, I was like, yo, I fast when I want. I fast when I want. I restrict when I want. I do that shit when I want. People were like, you should go on, do one of those weeks of full silence and go. And I said, I'll do that when I feel like it. I'll do that when I feel moved to do that. I'm not just gonna do that because people think you should do that. No, do it when you're moved to do it, because then it's gonna be real, right? All the realest things you ever did in your life were when you were moved to do it on your own, when you were moved, when you got the information about it and then you just did it. That's why I'm not fucking with a lot of the pressure that's going on around here. Because you got people that are trying to vibrate the things that they're not really ready to be at yet. And I see the other things that come from it, right? I see all these beings trying to be on these waves, and then they're bringing their bullshit from other things into it. And now it's all fucking up. We gotta be mindful. Don't let anyone control your timeline. That's what I'm saying. If you still fuck with meat, fucking eat your meat, bro. Don't come in and bring in all these meat eater fucking thoughts and shit into being a vegan, because now you're ruining it for the vegans. right? Only a meat eater would fucking make a page to argue with carnivores. I can't even imagine that shit. Why are you gonna, if I know I got knowledge, I know I'm sitting in truth, why am I gonna have to argue with you about my truth? I just sit back in my truth and just enjoy it, right? If you want to become a vegan because so much more healthy, aren't you just gonna show that throughout your life? Do you need to argue it to anyone? No. You're just gonna exhume it, right? Like, I have knowledge of shit. I don't need to tell you I got knowledge. I just speak and it fucking comes out, right? Because I don't need to show you that I read. I took one picture of 6 months of books that I read on Instagram, and right after I did that, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. Why'd I do that? Because now people are gonna expect, no, I shouldn't have done that. Right after I felt like, but I felt like at the time I needed to show something. You don't need to show nothing. Be mindful of what you're grouping with. Don't group with things if you're not fully believing in all the things that they say. Once you start to notice that it gets a little weird, drop back a little bit and be. Let your knowledge do the rest. Let what you brought into that situation control that. You don't want to be caught up in these things. And that's why I had to notice. I had to fall back from certain things. I had to be like, whoop, take a quick break. I know where I'm going. I'm going to a great place. You'll see me in my reflections. We're going to be in a great place pretty soon. It's going to be lit. There'll be a lot of amazing things going on. But we created that. But if we fell up into timelines, that shit wouldn't have came. If I fell up into timelines, that wouldn't have came. So you got to just be mindful. You control your timeline. If you control your reality, you control your timeline. So who are you to sit here and tell me that you're this, and that, but then you act like you don't have control of your timeline? You got that fourth dimensional being. Get up there. Get up there on the 4D level, and then you're good. Take your time back. Once you take your time back, notice how the things that, okay, I'm gonna teach you something really quick. I'm gonna teach you why the universe tests you, okay? Now, once you make moves, right? And once you get yourself to be in a fourth dimension, right? Once you get yourself to control your timeline, you're gonna start seeing that things are gonna really start to interject in your life and go out of their way to interject in your life. They're gonna come from out of nowhere to try and interject in your timeline and make you do things that aren't normal to what you are doing. Watch it. Trust me, just trust me on this. Trust me on this. I know this because I had a being that was like, yo, I'm not doing this, and this. I'm not messing with these certain people. And I just stopped contact, all this stuff with people. Once you know that one of these beings actually just showed up on me unexpected one the other day, just came up on me, and I was like, just taken back. Because once you control your timeline and people don't have ways of getting to you, they'll start showing up. New level, new devil, true shit. It's true shit, right? So be mindful of what you're grouping with. Be mindful. If you're not fully about what that's preaching, step back. Remember the energy orbs. Remember you're a galaxy. That's why we teach this. Know what you're doing. Because you got this. You are the God of this reality. I am in your mind right now. And I'm telling you something that you needed to know. Right? You're the galaxy. Right? You're the galaxy. Understand what that means. Understand how you are and how you gravitate things towards you. You'll understand your electromagnetism. You'll understand why I started making these signs. This isn't no evil shit. This isn't no evil shit. This is, you gotta remember, we put the vibration on symbols. Every symbol was just nothing until we created the connotation behind it. You have the power to make something good or bad. People see someone throw this up, they're like, oh, that's 666. I say, yo, that's a galaxy, bro. Who put that on you? Find the being that made you think this was evil. Find the being that made you think there was evil. There's no such thing as evil. Oh my God, there's no such thing as evil. I want to go so deep on this conversation because there's no such thing as evil. Because you show me the evilest person, they've done something good for someone at some point. There's no such thing as pure evil. Just like right now, I'm outside, you'd say this is dark, but you can still see. There's no such thing as pure darkness. There's still variations of light within it. So there's no such thing as evil or good. There's just variations of the two. So we gotta stop with this shit. We gotta stop worrying about symbols. We gotta stop worrying about 666. We gotta stop worrying about a rapture. Everyone wants to talk about this freaking rapture. Stop worrying about the rapture. Stop worrying about someone destroying your world. No one's destroying your world but you. No one is destroying your world but you. The people who need to be worried, they know when they need to be worried. You'll know exactly when you need to be worried about something. Why? Because in your reality, you'll see the shifts. Everyone sees the shifts. Be mindful. Be mindful. Be mindful of grouping. Don't let anyone group you in some shit you're not wanting to fully be in. Don't let yourself be a part of some shit that's not you. Be it. My reflections understand. My frequency gets it. But that's it. I'm not gonna go any further in this occult knowledge. I already know that some people are already getting fucked up. They got fucked up once I said orb. They were like, nah, this guy's trying to be a magician, right? Understand what I'm talking about with energy spirals. Some of you guys, some of my followers, you guys got it. But peace and love. I be. What are you doing?